guys, it is Bridget here from Bridget's Healthy Kitchen, wishing you a very wonderful day wherever you are in the world, and whatever it is you're doing, I hope that you are safe and I hope that you are well. It is Sunday morning. Well, actually it's just ticked over lunchtime here in Sydney, and today's class is all about fennel. And the reason I'm doing fennel is because I was in the supermarket yesterday and I come across the biggest bulbs of fennel, and they were super duper cheap, and I thought to myself, I wonder how many people out there know how to cook and then be able to enjoy fennel, because it's definitely one of those vegetables that doesn't get a lot of attention, I think, and especially in this part of the world, in Australia and in New Zealand, we kind of go past it, don't really know what to do with it. Maybe sometimes we put it in the too hard box as well. So hopefully, the plan is that by the end of this class, you are going to fall in love with fennel for its versatility, but also for its flavor as well, because it's got a couple of different flavors, would you believe? And it all depends on how you look after it, how you treat it when you cook it, or whether you eat it raw. So fennel masterclass, as I was saying, and I want you guys to fall in love. I want you to crave crave fennel, because it's such an incredible vegetable, really good for us. So come on down to my bench so we can have a bit of a talk about what I have in front of me, so you guys can have a little look at fennel. Let me know as well if you regularly eat fennel, what you think of it, maybe how you prepare it as well, because there may be some new ways that you can share with all of us. I'm going to be giving you guys over 10 different ways that you can prepare fennel. If you've only had one way, then I'm going to give you 9 more. But please let us know how you like to enjoy fennel. If you already are in love with fennel, if you've never tried it before, let us know as well, because it's always good to know where everyone's at. And I mean, just from experience chatting with you guys, I know that fennel is one of those ones that you kind of go, how do I, cook that? What do I do with that fennel stuff? So come on down to my bench. I'll show you what I picked up at the supermarket yesterday. It's pretty ridiculous when you look at it. So in this basket here, I have $4 worth of fennel. I'm not fibbing. $4. I got 3 of these huge bulbs of fennel for $4 yesterday in my veggie supermarket. So not a normal supermarket, it was a veggie store, but I have seen even like in the normal supermarkets, you can usually get a couple of bulbs for $4, where I managed to pick up, and I was like, man, it's time to do something with fennel, because that's crazy if you think about that. $4 for all this gorgeous fennel. So the first thing that we need to know about fennel is it is a bulb, as you can see, and we can actually eat this entire thing. And it's probably not widely known that you can eat the entire thing. So it belongs to the carrot family. I know it doesn't look like a carrot. It grows all year round, so it's what is known as a perennial. And it even grows wild, and in some countries it's actually an invasive species. So it does grow really easily, and I believe that's why we get a really decent price from our fennel. Now, again, Mahi, I'm not seeing any comments. I've got 0 comments coming through. Just let me know if I haven't said any hello to anyone, because I can't see anything. I'm not sure what's happening with our live here, but Mahi's on the laptop. He's keeping an eye on things. If you have any questions about fennel as we're going, please let us know, because I will get the call from Mahi. So belongs to the carrot family, can be invasive, grows all year round. But what is it sort of, I suppose, what is the smell or the taste? What's it like? For a lot of people, they find it to be quite aniseedy, especially if you're dealing with this part here, which is the bulb. So if you're eating it raw, it can have that flavour of black licorice or absinthe. If anyone's ever tried absinthe, it's got those sort of flavours. And it's also described as being a little bit camphor-like, which can be sweet, slightly sour, but also a little bit mentholy. So that's in its raw form. The texture when it's raw is also very crunchy, very similar to a celery, if you want to have that type of idea of a crunch. But when it is cooked, it is completely transformed and it becomes quite silky. If you don't believe me, please keep on watching, because it's pretty crazy what happens when we cook this. So the texture, crunchy when raw, silky when cooked, and health-wise, really high in dietary fibre. So you will find that this is a really fibrous bulb. It's got heaps of antioxidants, so it helps to fight off, you know, illness and free radicals. High in potassium as well, which is good for lowering blood pressure if you have issues with your blood pressure. And really high in vitamins A and C, so good for us. Really good for us. And it goes with lots and lots of things. I'm talking really good pairing flavor-wise with salmon, with turkey, with chicken, with crayfish or lobster. In fact, most shellfish go really well, or most seafood go really well with fennel, but also pork is incredible with fennel. So lots of things that we can also mix it with. And as I was saying, you can use the entire bulb. So at the top here, we have what is known as the fronds. We can use the fronds just like we would use herbs, fresh herbs. So don't throw these away. In fact, you know, just kind of pluck them off. Pluck them off your fennel bulb and keep those in your damp tea towel. Very, very similar to dill in texture and in flavor as well. So we can use these. Don't throw these away. We can also use these stems as well. Now these stems are very celery-like, so the stems can actually replace celery in things like soups and stews and braises and things where you would normally use celery. You can now use that stem of that fennel. And of course the bulb has, you know, 101 uses. We're going to talk about around about 10 uses today. So the first thing that we're going to do, I'm going to show you guys. I'm going to put this to the side because 10's quite a lot, but it's worth it because, you know, as I was researching all some of the wonderful ways that I've cooked fennel in the past, I just kept on coming up with more and more and more. So I thought, let's just start with probably the most obvious. So the most obvious one is that it can be roasted. So how you deal with your fennel, remember that this is the mainly the part that people eat, which is the bulb, but we don't want to throw away any of those bits as well. So when you are preparing your fennel, when you are preparing it, remember, keep those, celery, and keep those, because that's like dill. So don't throw that stuff away, that stuff's all good. But for this particular style of cooking, which is, you know, roasting fennel, we're going to be using just the bulb. So you want to cut down the middle, because once we open it, you can kind of see what it looks like inside. So it has this bit of core which holds it all together, very much like if you were to cut open an onion, very much if you were like cut open a cabbage as well. And that's kind of how I'm going to treat it when I'm going to slice it for roasting, is I'm going to keep that core then there intact. So I'm going to cut it, and now I've got it into half again, still intact, but now I want to get rid of that core because it's not that edible. It's kind of hard and a little bit too fibrous for us. So what you want to do is taking up your knife, of course, we want to cut down on a bit of an angle, because as we cut down on an angle, we're able to remove that core. And that is the only part of this fennel bulb that I'm going to throw away, I'm going to discard. That's it. Everything else we can use. How good is that? And considering this whole thing cost like, how much was it? $1.20. It's pretty good bang for your buck at the moment. Really, really good. So now that we've got it at this point, we're going to be roasting it. So we kind of want to cut it into wedges, around about that big. Now I'm talking about roasting this as a side dish. So there's another way that you can roast this as well, which is absolutely phenomenal. But if you just wanted to roast this as a side dish, once you've got your wedges, you've thrown away that core. Once you've got your wedges ready, got a little roasting tray here, just a little bit of baking paper. Only reason that's there is just to help with cleanup. You can have it in baking paper or not. I'm going to grab myself up a bowl. The fennel wedges then go into the bowl. And what we're going to do is we're just going to take a little bit of coconut oil. And I have previously melted my coconut oil, even though it started to solidify again because it's really cold here in Sydney today. Well, it's winter. What do you expect, right? So I'm just putting on a little bit of coconut oil. It doesn't need too much. It's probably like 2 tablespoons in half a bulb, a big bulb of fennel. Give it a bit of a toss through. This is the best way to make sure that you're getting, you know, the oil. You've used a little bit of oil, but now you're really making sure that all that fennel is tossed really well in that tiny bit of oil that you added in there. So we're going to do that. Then we're going to take up some seasoning. Simple, simple, simple. All I'm doing is some Himalayan salt, or you can use any type of mineral salt. I'm going to add a little bit of freshly milled black pepper to it. Once again, this is why bowls are so handy. We're going to give it a bit of a toss. Everything is kind of all mixed in there and being really gorgeous and delicious. Oh, apart from that one that is on the floor, we'll leave that one. We'll leave that one there. Don't need to use that one. There's no such thing as the 5-second rule. Once it hits the floor, that's it, it's done. All right, take your bulbs and you want to lay them out into a single layer. You don't want to overlap them, just a single layer. Obviously, I'm only doing a few here, so I only need a small roasting tray, but there's nothing stopping you from roasting 2 or 3 bulbs when they're that cheap, right? Especially if you've got lots of hungry mouths to feed. Roast Sunday makes perfect sense, right? The Sunday roast. So once it's at this point, all we're going to do is we're going to pop it into a hot oven, set at 190 degrees Celsius, which is around about 390 degrees Fahrenheit, and that is going to roast just like that for about 35 to 40 minutes. That's all you have to do. The finished result is, let me show you. This is our finished result. So yes, it shrivels up because all the water that's in fennel starts to evaporate. It does shrivel up. This was actually only a quarter of that. So that's a quarter of that. You get that. That's like one portion of fennel. And how does it taste? Because that is definitely the big question. Because when fennel is raw, it can be quite overpowering for people, and I think that's why a lot of people have been turned off it, because they cut it really, really thick. Try to throw it in a salad, and it's like they're eating, you know, pure aniseed, which can, unless you just absolutely adore black licorice or you absolutely adore absinthe, which is the drink, you know, the green fairy, unless you adore those types of flavors, that could be quite overpowering. But when fennel is cooked and roasted just like this, what we end up getting, firstly, we just get all that lovely caramelization happening, which you love, but it's so good. Like, seriously, it is so different from raw. That's why you got to try it. It doesn't taste anything like its raw counterpart. It's smooth, it's silky. Mine's a bit cold now, which is not ideal, but there's nothing stopping you from now throwing these roasted bits into a salad if you wanted to have like a roast vegetable salad. But hot out of the oven, it is wonderful. So there's one way that you can try it. Now, another way that you can roast it is do exactly what I just did, right? Cutting it. You don't even have to actually put any coconut oil on it this time, but you want to take that base like that. And then whatever it is you're roasting, especially because it's Sunday, maybe you're doing a chicken, a whole chicken, or maybe you're doing a pork roast, put that bit of meat, that joint, right on top of the fennel and treat the fennel like a bed, like a little mattress, and roast as per normal. So what then happens is all the juices, you can see where I'm going with this, right? All the juices start flowing out of that chicken or out of that pork roast or even out of that lamb roast and get into our fennel. So not only are you cooking it till it's tender and delicious, but you're also caramelizing it and flavoring it at the same time. So it works really well under things as a bed. You get to cook your fennel and enjoy it, and then you get this wonderful roasted bit of meat on top of it. So that's another way of roasting it, which is, once again, stunning, absolutely stunning. Another way that we're going to be looking at it today, just looking at my ingredients, I've got so many things happening here. Another way that you can treat fennel is you can add it to things. So once again, I'll say this one more time, when you cook fennel, it is completely different from as it tastes from when it's raw and becomes quite silky. So I shared a recipe with you guys yesterday, and that recipe was for my beef and mushroom stew, and which is, by the way, so unctuous and gorgeous and rich and wonderful, and I had fennel in it. And the way that I put my fennel in, I'll just show you. And this, you can do this in any types of slow cooking, braising, if you're doing a stew or you're doing some type of casserole, add the fennel. So all you want to do in that case, especially if you are slow cooking, is you want to keep it fairly large, because slow cooking, you know, it does take hours and hours. And I've cut it to about this size here. So nice big chunks, then go into my stew or my casserole, and then that cooks down. And what you are adding, don't forget all those health benefits that you have in fennel. So you're adding all those health benefits of fennel, which is really, really good. But you're also making sure that you get another way to eat fennel. So 100% throw it in your soups, your stews, your casseroles, just in chunks like that. And it is delicious. For a soup, by the way, let me just Where am I going to put you? I'll put you in there for now. For a soup, I would probably go a little bit smaller, just because the soup doesn't cook as long as a stew or slow cooked stew. You probably want to do something along the lines of that. And put that into a soup, and you've got a wonderful vegetable component to your soup as well. So that's another way that we can use fennel, and it's a good way. The next way I'm going to show you guys does kind of make it come out as the raw fruit. I'm not throwing any of this away, by the way. I'm going to show you why I'm not going to be throwing it away. It all kind of comes out the same, right? When it's cooked, you get that sort of flavour. But if you want to change it up again, you may see what I kind of got in front of me here. There is nothing stopping you from adding this raw fennel to your pickled vegetables. If you're like me and you always have a jar of random pickled vegetables in your fridge, and I just keep on topping it up, and that's my nanny's pickles. I think Mahe might be able to find a link for that recipe. My nanny's pickles, which are a collection of whatever vegetables I have hanging around, and I continuously top up this, and it's got a mild curry, almost like a piccalilli. It's that sort of style of a pickle, and of course fennel works really well in it. Just make sure when you do put the fennel in, you're probably after about that size pieces if you're adding it to your pickled vegetable jar. But once again, there is nothing stopping you from making your own pickles with fennel. And what I have here in my little jar is just leftover pickling liquid. So that's the same pickling liquid that I use in my pickle. Look how red my pickled onions are. Aren't they gorgeous? They're just stunning. That's the same pickling liquid that I use in my pickled onions. Completely the same, nothing different about it. I made a little bit too much, so I siphoned it off because I thought, oh, at some point in time, I'm going to want to do something with this. So I put it into its own little jar, and what do you know, I found fennel. So if I'm just pickling fennel all on its own, I'm going to slice it quite small, around about this sort of size here, that sort of size, and then straight into the jar. Leave it for a couple of days, and you have got pickled fennel. I know, it's exciting, I'm excited. It's just this, like I said, there's so many options, so many ways, so many opportunities to get this vegetable into your diet and enjoy it, because that's the whole idea, is that we're cooking for enjoyment, aren't we? Because we enjoy the eating process. If you're cooking and you're not enjoying it, then we've got to make sure that you are enjoying it, because when you're enjoying it, there's more chance that you're going to stay on your healthy regime. So that's our just pickled fennel. Obviously I'd fill that up as well. That's another wonderful way. The next way, we're going to go back to our little cooking way of fennel. And another great way is to barbecue it or to char grill it. So once again, I'm going to take up our fennel bowl. I've got a little bit here. I've got fennel everywhere. Everywhere I look, there's just fennel at the moment, which is fabulous. I don't mind at all. So once again, for our barbecued or our grilled fennel, we're going to remove that core on an angle. Remember that sound you put? We discard. And then once again, I'm going to cut it into wedges. Cutting into wedges. That sort of idea there. Back to my bowl. Because this is honestly the best way to get all the oil that we're going to be adding all over it with only using a little bit of oil. So coconut oil again, which has gone really hard now. Completely solid. Just to show you how warm it is in my kitchen today. Not very warm, but that's all right. I'm just gonna do this. Get it in there. Get the hands in there as well. But now I've got sticky hands. That's okay. Salt and pepper. Simple. Salt and pepper. You can, instead of adding coconut oil, you could also do this with avocado oil. Do not do this with olive oil, because your olive oil will burn because you're throwing it either on the barbecue or on a really hot grill. So because you're doing that, come up here. I'm going over to the oven now, so we just need to, can you see? Yes. So this is my grill pan that I have there. Got it from Aldi a couple years ago, and guess what, guys? You can see it's a couple years ago. Look, it's been well used, well loved. This cast iron grill pan is currently on sale at Aldi. If anyone's in Australia, It is cast iron season. You can get the Dutch oven. I've seen this. You can get really large flat ones as well. This is wonderful. In this type of situation here, I've got it on the gas. So I'm just going to turn it on. Get it nice and, this is the glass, yes, the gas flame is on. Get it nice and hot. As that's heating up, I am going to show you the next easy way that you can prepare it. So this is grilling and barbecuing. The next way that you can do it is going to rock your world. Like seriously rock your world. It kind of rocked my world the first time I tried it. I didn't know what to expect and I was like, this is good. Okay, I've talked it up long enough. So the other thing that you can do with fennel, and it's going to change the way you look at this vegetable forever. Have you ever considered mashing it or turning it into a puree? Right? A pureed fennel. Easy to do. I don't even have to show you how to puree fennel. Exactly how you would puree or you would mash cauliflower. So you cut it into small pieces. Of course, once again, we're going to remove that core there and throw that away. Cut it into small pieces. Then you're just going to put it in lots and lots of water. So at least double the amount of water. Then you're going to bring it to the boil and you're going to let that boil. Bit of salt in the water, just a bit of salty water, and you're going to let that boil for around probably about 15 to 20 minutes. Now it does take a while, because even when they're in small pieces, because what you want to do, and by small pieces I mean like, you know, kind of that size there. What you want to do is you want to cook it, boil it long enough until it becomes tender. Because remember, this is a very fibrous vegetable. Why it's really high in dietary fiber and really good for our gut health. But because it's fibrous, it does need a bit of time to cook. And the best way to test as it's cooking is just to try and eat a piece. And at first you'll notice that it's got a bit of resistance, so it's kind of still al dente, it's still got a bite to it. You want to take it a step further so that it can literally mush in your mouth. And that'll take, depending on the size you cut it, 15 to 20, maybe even a bit longer than 20 minutes. You're going to be doing that. Once you've done that, you're just going to drain it off really well. Make sure you get all the water out of it. Put it into your little food processor, just like cauliflower mash, and give it a bit of a blend. And what you'll find when you blend it up at that point is that it still looks quite fibrous. All you need to do, and let's just say you're pureeing this much, half, all you need to do is add a tablespoon of olive oil to it. That's it, and it will be smooth and creamy and dreamy and delicious. Just season it up with a little bit of salt and pepper, and this mash here, here's what I prepared earlier, will change your life. Okay, it's a bit dramatic. It'll definitely increase the amount of ways that you can have a mashed vegetable that's not potato and looks that creamy. Did I say it's creamy? It's creamy. All right. Okay. Are you ready? This is next level. This is the future of mash. Oh, yum! It makes me sing. You know, this is one of those dishes that you need to eat with your shoes off because you want to wiggle your toes when you're doing it or have a little boogie. It is that good. Seriously, this is going to change things up. Mashed fennel. If you hated fennel before, start with this way. Mash it with just a little bit of olive oil. Just a little bit, like seriously, half a bowl, 1 tablespoon of olive oil, salt and pepper. And you get that. Can you see how creamy? It looks like mashed potato, right? It is. It is delicious. It is, like, seriously, go and do it. That's all I gotta say about that. Right. Over here, while I was getting excited about mash, is my little grill here is definitely hot enough. You want to get it nice and searing. Even if it's a barbecue, get it really hot, get it really searing. Throw them on. Once again, you want to keep them separated. Don't overlap. You know, make sure that they're all got their own bit of space in there. And then just let that cook. Easy, right? Super easy. If your pan, oh, where am I going to put this? I don't know where I'm putting dirty stuff here. Can you go there? If your pan or your grill does not sizzle when you throw that fennel on, then you just need to heat it up a little bit more. So what you're trying to achieve is you're just wanting to cook it through, of course. And as it's cooking through, you're going to be getting that silkiness and you're going to be losing that really strong flavour of aniseed. but you're also going to be getting some lovely grill marks on it. Now I'm actually going to turn this off because if I let it go anymore, we're going to set off the smoke alarm. And I can't have my range hood here on because it's too noisy. You won't be able to hear a word I'm saying. So I'm just showing you like what I would normally do on the grill, depending on how thick you slice it, the wedges become. It's going to take you probably 10 minutes, maybe even less, maybe 8 minutes. It's on a really hot barbecue, it might take 5 minutes. So I'm going to turn it off because we don't want the smoke alarm to be going off now, do we? No, we don't. But of course, here's some I prepared earlier. Like I said, there's fennel everywhere. It's crazy. Oh gosh, there's fennel everywhere. All right, so let me show you. This is our char grilled. Look at that, gorgeous fennel. And you can either just serve it like that as a side dish. You can, elaborate more and put some wonderful things on it if you want to. And this is kind of going to lead me into how I would serve it. And this becomes almost like a vegetarian meal all on its own, just with using this char grilled fennel. Yes, Mahi, we have a question.
Covered in water?
Pardon me?
Do you boil it covered in water?
Do I boil it covered in water? For the mash, yes!
Yeah.
Just like you do potatoes, just like you do cauliflower. When you're making the mash, you're boiling it in lots of water. Yes, 100%. Just think of it like you're boiling a potato to mash it. That's all you gotta remember until it's nice and tender. All right, so how would I deal with this if I wanted to kind of zhoosh it up, give it a little bit of something delicious, something extra? I will show you how I will deal with this gorgeous, gorgeous charred fennel, and it is absolutely gorgeous. I have a new favourite salad. I just kind of stumbled across it a couple of days ago. I'm just giving this a bit of a wipe. Just my cucumber, my wonderful cucumber. Bit of a wipe down. I literally, oh, don't put that in there. I literally stumbled across this a couple of days ago when I wanted something really quick because I was starving. I was absolutely starving, and I was like, I need something really fast. So I kind of stumbled across this way of eating a cucumber, which now is going to work in so nicely with our char grilled fennel. So taking our little, I just got a baby Lebanese, which is lovely and sweet, at a really good price at the moment as well, which I did notice. And what you want to do with it, you don't want to do really thin slices. You actually want to do chunks of it. Trust me here, this really does help with the eating. It's just stunning, absolutely stunning. So, and as I was saying, this is my new obsession. I get obsessed with different things throughout the week. Yogi tea has been my obsession. Almond porridge has been my obsession. This is my new obsession, and I'd like to introduce you to it. It's quite wonderful. So I'm just going to take a few of those cucumbers there, put them into my bowl. I want you guys to see, just into my bowl. And then we're going to take some of these gorgeous, gorgeous things. And they are gorgeous. They are absolutely gorgeous. I'm so in love with our inulin powder, pure as inulin powder, because of this. Look at the colour I've gotten on my pickles. That is just stunning. All right, so clean utensil. Remember, we always go on with a clean utensil when we're going into any of our pickle jars, just so we don't want to ruin it by adding something dirty. Maybe it's got some bacteria on it, which means that our pickles will start going sour. Well, not sour, they're already sour, but they'll start turning. So just a few of those pickles are going to go on there. A few of those. I am excited. Okay, let's go here. A little bit of fennel. But this becomes the most gorgeous, gorgeous side dish, or even just salad, whatever you want. You could serve this with, a pork chop, and it would be so wonderful. Just this on its own, a little bit of fennel, charred. You could char it. You don't have to char it on a barbecue. You could also char it on, in a really hot frying pan. A few more of our cucumbers go on, and I'm going to add some more of this gorgeous, gorgeous fennel. A few more. Like, seriously, guys, this is amazing. This is so amazing. All right, a few more of that, and the colours, and let's finish it off. Look, it's even got a little bit of green attached to it. I kept that purposely to put on top because he's Stunning. Right. I'm not going to throw those away. Don't worry. I eat everything here. Mahe and I eat everything here. So that's kind of the base of our salad. Look, look. Yum, yum. I know, right? Just like that, you're like, yeah, I'd eat that. Yeah, I'd smoke that. Absolutely smoke it. But we're going to just finish it off just a little bit. A little bit of salt, of course. A little bit of pepper, up to you, whether you want to add a little bit of pepper to it. A little bit of salt. Salt helps our palates to detect the flavours, of course. And then I'm just going to make a very, very quick little dressing. Yes, Mahi, I have a question.
From Kim, have you got a recipe for fennel and apple slaw? Been trying to find a good one for a while.
Kim, you asked whether I have a recipe for fennel and apple slaw. Keep watching. Don't go anywhere, Kim. Please don't go anywhere. I'm going to show you exactly what we can do with that. All right. I don't have a spoon. Why don't I have a spoon? That's a bit weird, isn't it? I've got no clean spoons anywhere. Oh, goodness me. Oh,
Dishwasher?
must be all in the dishwasher. It's all right. I'm going to use this one here. I'm going to make a very quick little dressing. And this is what takes it over the top. This is what makes everything good, including life. Bit of coconut yogurt. Just a couple of teaspoons. Heaped teaspoons of coconut yogurt go on top there. We're going to make a lemon yogurt. Yes, we're going to make a lemon yogurt by using a lemon. We're just going to squeeze a little bit of lemon juice. So we're just going to make it a little bit tangy. Just a couple of little in there. A couple of bit of dribbles goes in there. Give it a bit of a mix. Have a bit of a taste, of course. A little bit more. That's why we taste. We taste so we know what the balance is like. Really important. Everything needs a bit of a taste. Oh, and don't get stuff all over your top, ideally. Right, one last little taste. You've now made lemon yogurt. All we're going to do with that is we're just going to spoon that on top of our little salad. And it becomes an absolute dream. Like seriously, serve this with pork chops, serve this with chicken and chicken breast, serve this with salmon, whatever you want. It is absolutely phenomenal. So that's my latest obsession, just like that. Easy though, right? So incredibly easy. Incredibly easy. And that little lemon addition to your coconut yogurt is wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. So we've been talking salads. I am going to, oh actually, I forgot. There's one more thing I'm going to add to it. Oh, this is sneaky. I forgot about that. It was hiding. Okay. So in this little jar here that you can see, if you're saying to yourself, hey, Bridge, that kind of looks like praline. It is. This is a healthy praline. So it's basically almonds, fennel seeds, and know before you ask, you can't get fennel seeds from your bulb. You can get them from the plant, but you can't. If you just buy a bulb, the fennel seeds are gone. So you need to actually, this is kind of like just a little sneaky little addition that I'm adding into our fennel masterclass today, is that you can make a fennel seed, which is what I got here, fennel seed and almond praline. So you can see those are what fennel seeds look like. Now they do have a very sharp aniseed taste to them. They are also, they're amazing for things like cleaning your breath, freshening your breath, because they're quite sharp, they're quite pungent, but they also are wonderful as a digestive aid. So really good, helps with things like bloating and helps with also with things like with gas as well. So these are really good. And what I did, and I can do a class on this, if anyone would like me to do a quick class on this tomorrow, I can show you how I make this praline, is I use fiber syrup, almonds and fennel seeds. And you can use this on a sweet or savory dish. And in fact, this on your almond porridge would be amazing, right? It has just got so many wonderful flavors going on there. And because you can, there is nothing stopping you, and it needs to be, by the way, kept in a little jar with the lid on, because it will start to go hard into one little piece if you don't do that. There is nothing stopping you from then sprinkling your gorgeous salad here with fennel seed, almond praline just because you can. So if you'd like to see me do a class on this, please let me know and I'll do a quick one with you guys tomorrow. But that just went next level again. Don't you agree? I agree. Wonderful. But we're talking salads. We are talking salads, and that is one way that you can have it, but I know it's char-grilled, but when you are eating it raw, there is a couple of things that we need to keep in mind, to bear in mind. The first thing is that, as I was saying before, when it's in its raw form, it is very aniseedy, like really, and it can be quite overpowering for some people's palates. So in order for it to be eaten raw, you need to make sure that you're slicing it really, really thin. So if you're pretty handy with the knife, you could get away with, and I'm talking paper thin, right? I'm talking that thin. So if you're handy with the knife, you might be able to get away with it. And how does it taste right now in its raw, skinny form? That's interesting. It's lovely and crunchy. Tastes more like celery at this point. So initial flavour is kind of like, you know, I wouldn't eat it on its own. Definitely needs something. So different from its cooked form, by the way. Totally different. But that thin, I can't barely taste aniseed at all. So then it becomes a vehicle for flavours, which is what you want. Because it's kind of bland, it's a little bit boring. It's got a lovely texture though, like it's a really interesting texture. And sometimes our palates crave. I just saw a piece of cucumber. Crunch, right? Crunch is good. Just adding that bit of cucumber to that little bit of fennel, once again, has transformed it. So on its own, thinly sliced, boring. But, and this is a great part, it becomes a vehicle for flavours. So Kim asked about a fennel and apple slaw, I think it was, Kim. Now, the reason why fennel and apple is quite a common slaw to make is because fennel and apple are literally two flavours. They're like a marriage made in heaven. They just work really, really well together. Other fruit that go really, really well with fennel is fennel and orange. You may have heard of those two combinations before. They work really, really well. Fennel and pomegranate work really, really well, which is delicious. And fennel and grape, would you believe, is also a wonderful combination. So fennel and apple, definitely quite a common combination of flavours. But how would you make a fennel and apple slaw? Basically just what I did, Kim. But the difference here, and I think because you'll be cutting quite a lot of fennel, the difference here is you want to go for something like this, a mandolin, because unless you're able to get slices like that, the easiest way to do it, and come on down so we can make that. The easiest way to do it is definitely with your mandolin slicer, keeping the bowl. You can just start with a smaller piece, like a quarter of a bowl, just like that, about that sort of size. But keep that core intact because it's just going to be easier for you to handle as you're slicing the fennel. So you want to do this, and you can see what I'm getting underneath. Make sure you use the guard, yeah, the plastic guard when you guys are using your mandolin. And this is definitely the easiest way to get a bulk amount of very, very thinly sliced fennel. And so when we're at that stage, and let's just say we got lots and lots and lots and lots. Oh, I'll do a bit more because that looks a bit spanaret, as we used to say, meaning not very much. So once you've got a good amount of your fennel slaw, whoa, watch the fingers. You can then think about how you're going to incorporate that apple. And when it comes to apple, I always like to keep the skin on because a lot of the the really good vitamins just sit right there under the skin. So I always like to keep the apple under the skin on when I'm making a slaw. I think it's nicer. So we're going to go back to our mandolin. I'm going to make some nice little thin slices. If you don't have a mandolin at this point, you could definitely use a peeler, like a wide mouth peeler, a peeler that's like that wide. Works really well. And once we've got our apples at that sort of thinness, exact same size as the fennel in terms of how we've sliced it, we're not going to put that in just like that. What you actually want to do, make it more slaw-like, is you want to take up your knife and you just want to create little matchsticks of the apple. Tiny, tiny little pieces, which is definitely possible because we've used that mandolin. They then go into the fennel. We're going to go with that little bit of salt. We're going to go with that little bit of pepper as well. And because we have things cut so fine, what would then happen potentially if you don't eat it straight away is it could oxidize and start to go brown. So we're going to go back to our lemon and we're going to add some lemon juice. And literally, that is all. Just watching, trying to get rid of the seeds here. Don't want any seeds in my slaw. That is all you need to do. If you wanted to just keep it as simple as that, you could just do that sort of style. Of course, we need to think about giving it, I'm going to use my pickle fork, giving it a little bit of a mix through. That is just a beautiful, light, crunchy way to eat it. Serve that slaw with salmon. You're going to have, you know, serve that to your family and friends. They're going to love you forever. Just like that. Absolutely delicious. There's nothing also stopping you from adding a little bit of olive oil. Nothing stopping you from adding a little bit of pickle liquid as well. Just a little bit into there. Give it a bit of a toss. That's all there is. That is a fennel and apple slaw. It is so simple, but you need to have that bit of acid in there to stop the apples from going brown, from oxidizing and going brown. So that's a slaw. Pretty easy, eh? We're gonna take it one step further. So as I was saying, fennel and orange, great salad combination. Thinly sliced orange wedges mixed through, delicious. Always thinly sliced when it comes to the salad, of course. Fennel and grape, thinly sliced. Cut the grapes in half and then just mix it all through. Add some lemon juice, some pickle liquid, some olive oil, whatever it is you want. Gorgeous, gorgeous salad. You can also do this type of salad if you want to think about another way to prepare fennel and apple, because we did the slaw, but you don't have to have it so incredibly thinly sliced when it comes to the apple. In fact, what I like to do is just take it just a little bit thicker, not much, just a little bit thicker, and onto the mandolin, because when it's just a little bit thicker, you definitely will get the flavour more dominant of aniseed. And if you do like that bit of aniseed, just take it a little bit thicker. And also, if you don't have a mandolin and you're still not crazy about your knife skills, this is a good way to just practice slicing. Take your time. Oh, forgot to cut off the root there when you're slicing, because this salad, like I was saying, the salad will allow you to just cut it a little bit thicker, not too much. So the salad we're doing here is another great way to do it with apple. Nice little option. One more bowl, here we go. Goes into our bowl. And it's the same thing again with the apple, except as I was saying, we're not going to be slicing it so thin on that. In fact, I'm going to put that over there. Grab myself a spoon. Here we go, from the dishwasher. That's where they all work. And when it comes to the apple, we're just going to slice it into little rounds. The crunch of the fennel, the crunch of the apple, it is literally, like I said, this is such a gorgeous, gorgeous combination. Really, really stunning combination. And you will fall in love with this when it comes to serving this with like a piece of salmon or a piece of trout. Is just amazing with this salad. And the very first time I ever had a fennel and apple slaw was at a restaurant. And at the time I ate this dish, it was the #1 most popular dish in the entire world, and it was Tetsuya's ocean trout with fennel and apple slaw. So if it became a combination for one of the best dishes in the entire world, in fact this dish will make you will never forget it, and I've never forgotten it. It's still the best thing I've ever eaten to this day. I've never ever eaten anything better than that dish, and this was the base of it. Cut quite thin, like more like a slaw-like, but it was the flavours that Tetsuya put into this. He served it with a confit of ocean trout, which cooks for 36 hours, which is crazy, and it is literally to die for. So we're going to make a little salad just with our whisk that up, our apple and our fennel. We're going to add some herbs, which I'm leaning across to, which are right here. And I have in my Jan, this is Jan tea towel. Jan gave me this tea towel. And she gave me the herbs, not these herbs, but the herbs that once lived inside of it. So I'm going to be adding some mint into it, which is a wonderful, light, fresh, gorgeous herb that just works so incredibly well with this. Oh, the smell already coming off that. Oh, stunning. Stunning, stunning, stunning. So just a bit of a rough chop. Because, you know, we've got big pieces of the fennel in there, so we don't have to be too concerned about keeping it too small. And then we're just going to throw that in there. Oh, not the stalk, Bridge. We don't want stalk. There we go. That's going to go in, give that a little bit of a toss through. And this is where we're going to think about, remember those things we had before that I told you not to throw away? Yeah. We're also going to be adding in some of fennel's own herb. Like I said, this is a vegetable that you have the ability to eat everything apart from that core. And you can add the fronds straight into your little salad here. And you can put that through your coleslaw too, your slaw if you wanted to. Or you could put mint through your slaw if you wanted to as well, because all these flavours just work incredibly well. So that goes in there. I'm also, if you want to as well, this is completely up to you. What have I done with it? Here it is. You can also, if you are not dairy free, you can also think about adding a little bit of parmesan to it. So just a bit of shaved parmesan can go in there. Gosh, I'm getting really low. I'm almost at the rind of my parmesan. Almost there, but I'm just going to keep going until I can't shave any more off. I'm not going to waste it. Parmesan is definitely a type of cheese that if you find that you are lactose intolerant, Parmesan is one of those cheeses that will not affect you because of the fermentation process that it goes through and the 18 months that it takes for the cheese to mature. It is actually quite a good way of getting rid of the stuff that our bodies don't like. So Parmesan cheese, once again, give that a little bit of a toss because there's apple. Of course, we're going to be adding in some of our lemon. Goes in there. Just a little bit of lemon. And then I'm just going to be finishing it off, and this is optional, you can stop right there. But I'm just going to be finishing it off with a little bit of olive oil, just a bit, like that much, which is probably like a teaspoon of olive oil. Doesn't need any more than that, just a little bit of olive oil. Taking up my fork. This salad is gorgeous. This is my lunch, by the way. This is my lunch. I don't know what protein I'm going to have with it. All I'm thinking about is all these amazing side dishes that I now have around me. And of course, we're just going to finish that off just with a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. Give it that final little toss through. This is stunning. Seriously, simple and stunning. Serve that with your salmon. Serve that with your trout. You won't be disappointed at all by this gorgeous, gorgeous salad. In fact, you won't be disappointed at all by this gorgeous, gorgeous vegetable. Because what we have here, let me see if I can find all the ways that we've done it. We have done it today. Let's have a little look. How have we served this? So this is our fennel and apple salad with mint and fennel fronds. Gorgeous. Don't forget we had our fennel and apple slaw, like that. What else have we got here? Ooh. This is our roasted fennel. If you want to know how I did all these, you need to watch the video if you've just joined us. There's our roasted fennel. How could we forget? Probably my favourite dish of the day so far is our barbecued or charred fennel with that gorgeous cucumber, pickled onion and lemon yogurt dressing topped with my fennel seed praline. I mean, that's a bit of a mouthful, but that's going to be a bit of a mouthful. Huh? See what I did there? That was, oh, can't see. Why can't you see? Come, I want you guys to see everything. Right, okay. There's that one. Oh, there is this one here as well, which is our fennel mash. Is there? Have I got anything else? Oh, I talked about everything else, didn't I? In fact, I talked so much I forgot this one here in the back. I've just seen it. This is actually braised fennel. So what I did here is I cut it into wedges. I put it into a pot. This is my ginger braised fennel. I put it into a pot with a bit of ginger, a couple tablespoons of teaspoons of ginger, fresh ginger. I also added just a little bit of water, so it's got a bit of braising liquid, and a little bit like a squig of olive oil, salt and pepper, and I braise this gently, because braising means to cook in liquid and to cook it gently. I braise this on a very low heat for about 15 minutes. That's another way you can do it. I forgot all about that one. That's another way you can do fennel. Yeah, look. There's so many amazing ways that you can cook this vegetable. Please, please, please go and search for it. Go and look for it. Like I said, you will not be disappointed. And no, I don't have a fennel farm, so I'm not trying to sell you fennel. I'm trying to sell you options. Options, options, options. Because once we have options in our world, once we have options in our diet, our world opens up to what we can eat, what we, and find ways that you can sneak it into your family's diet if they're not vegetable inclined. Mash, seriously, try the mash. Try the barbecued salad, try it all. It's absolutely stunning. So I hope you enjoyed today's class. Do you guys want to see me doing an almond praline tomorrow? Fennel and almond praline. I'll do a quick class with that tomorrow. I hope you've enjoyed today's class. I hope you come back and see us again. Please feel free to share this video so more people can find out just how delicious and gorgeous our friend Fennel is. Alright guys, have a great day, and we'll see you soon right here in Bridget's Healthy Kitchen. Take